Do they need to be kept in the fridge, or can they stay at room temperature? Can whole blackberries be frozen naturally to preserve them longer? Below are some tips on how to store blackberries to prevent them from spoiling too quickly. Tips for storing blackberries. Blackberries are highly perishable and spoil quickly if left at room temperature. They do not ripen after being picked, they only spoil. Therefore, only leave them at room temperature if you plan to eat them the same day you buy them. If you are not eating them right away, place the blackberries in a tall container to keep them loose. If you don't have one, use a shallow container covered with plastic wrap. Avoid washing them before storing. Moisture increases the chance of spoilage. Wash them just before eating. Remove any bad blackberries, as they can cause the others to rot more quickly. In the fridge, blackberries will last about 3 days without spoiling. Can you freeze blackberries? You can freeze whole blackberries naturally. To do this, spread them in a single layer on a tray and place them in the freezer. Once frozen, transfer them to a Ziploc freezer bag or an airtight container and return them to the freezer. In the freezer, blackberries can last up to 1 year without spoiling. To thaw, leave them at room temperature, but never for more than 2 hours to avoid bacterial growth. Alternatively, use the frozen berries directly for smoothies or sauces without thawing. Store-bought frozen blackberries should be kept in the freezer until you're ready to use them. They also last up to 1 year in the freezer. Freezing with sugar. Some people freeze blackberries mixed with sugar. To do this, combine 150 g of sugar with 1 kilogram of blackberries in a container. Gently mix until the sugar becomes moist. Transfer to a container with a lid, leaving some space between the berries and the lid. Freeze. The shelf life remains the same. The sugar draws out the natural juice of the blackberries, creating a syrup that coats the fruit and protects it from air exposure. How to tell if blackberries have spoiled. Spoiled blackberries typically become soft, mushy, and change color. If you notice anything wrong, including mold, discard them immediately, as mold can be hazardous to your health.